Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. So, critical race theory is all the rage among far-left progressive intellectuals, and at least part of it is permeated into mainstream CEOs and others who really should know better. Systemic racism and CRT, along with something called racial equity, have become both the diagnosis and the solution. In other words, we need more discrimination in order to solve discrimination. And it all started 250 years ago by a bunch of white males, white supremacist males. So I have no doubt that there is some discrimination left in America. I also totally reject the idea of systemic racism, okay? And in fact, I'm going to argue that it is precisely the genius of American democracy that has fostered huge and equitable changes in race, gender, color, everything. This 1619 project, sponsored by the crazy people at the New York Times, has been disputed up and down the line by highly respected historians. And as we argued on this show, in our Independence Day special, the solution to what ails us can be found in the 1776 project, which is about freedom and the consent of the governed and the authority of a higher power that makes our system work. About a year ago, when I was still serving in the Trump administration, I was frequently attacked for my denial of systemic racism. But I continue to hold that view. I don't agree with systemic racism. I could never get a straight answer from interviewers on a whole bunch of networks, CNBC, CNN, NBC, plenty of others. If America is so racist, how is it that an African-American was elected twice to the presidency? Twice, mind you. And during those two victories was supported by 80 million white voters. Let me repeat that. 80 million white voters. Now, that is not systemic racism, nor was the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments that were triggered by Abe Lincoln and continued under President Ulysses S. Grant, nor was the turnaround of the U.S. military, the integration of the U.S. military by Harry Truman, and the great civil rights achievements by Lyndon Johnson with large-scale Republican help in the Senate. They passed things like the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act, and the fact that Ku Klux Klan Democrats in the Senate tried desperately to block these reforms, just as they had been blocking them for 50 years, still did not stop it from getting done in our great representative democracy. That's why I don't agree with systemic racism, and I don't want to bring the American system down. Now, of course, Martin Luther King has always been a hero of mine for arguing the importance of the content of our character rather than the color of our skin. Another hero was Thurgood Marshall, who ran the legal department of the NAACP and won cases that effectively overturned bad laws. And then he went on to become an outstanding Supreme Court justice. Now, this evening, we come to the economic part of this story. Now, usually, welfare and entitlement subsidies are at the center of discussions of black economic development. But that stuff didn't work. Government dependency won out over black ownership. Now, during the Trump years, a new model was put in place with great success. And in his National Review article out today, my good friend, Trump alumnus Scott Turner, he writes convincingly with facts about the success of African Americans under free enterprise policies. Scott's going to be here in just a few moments. I'm going to get through some of the important numbers that he put in his piece. While Trump is often accused of being one of the most racist presidents, facts are black Americans experienced huge gains from lower taxes and lower regulations. The unemployment rate, pre-pandemic, for blacks reached a record low of 5.2%. The poverty rate for black Americans hit record lows, while a total of 1 million lifted themselves out of poverty. Real median household income for black families rose over $4,000, and that after falling for the previous 14 years. Black home ownership skyrocketed. Median weekly earnings grew 4.1% on average, and that was higher than the 3.4% earnings increase for whites. Scott Turner argues that the 2017 tax cut was crucial, as was the deregulation of business, and maybe most important, the creation of nearly 9,000 opportunity zones, which attracted roughly $75 billion in capital for these underserved communities. And that's enough to create 500,000 jobs, lift another million out of poverty by using a very simple tool, free enterprise tool. Capital gains on long-term investments were taxed at zero. Incentives matter. Now, these are very important achievements by a Republican president and a Republican Party who are always viciously attacked by the critical race theory woke crowd. But the wokes are wrong, and their woke economics of welfare and entitlement subsidies do African Americans a great disservice and great harm over the long run, with very poor results. And the same holds true for other minority groups. It's no secret that Trump's reelection attracted a big increase in African American voters and whopping gains from Hispanics. Give free enterprise a chance and it will work miracles. That's my take. Unfortunately, President Biden appears to be siding with the woke crowd. I'm sorry about that.